Alright, back for another live with Spry. We're up to 105, I think, is the number tonight. Still doing hold conditioning. She seems to be settled pretty nice tonight. I'm going to get right into it. I haven't been consistent. I haven't done it the last couple days for a variety of reasons. So by my own fault, this is probably going a little bit longer. Boy, the mosquitoes are really bad tonight, so this one won't be too long. By my own fault, I have missed a couple days in a row now. So is this taking longer than it should? Probably. Cam Cutters is in, Krista's in, Aaron's in. Welcome, guys. Bugs are out tonight. I've got a little bit of bug spray, and I think I'm going to spray it on actually because we did get a little warm up, and man, the mosquitoes really responded. So I'm going to make it quick. But like I was saying, Jason Erickson's in. Jason, I just sent you a message. Brian Frisk is in, Brian Quigley, Chris Hines, Mike Clark. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for following along here. You know the routine. If you would, please do me a favor and share them. But I took a couple days off, and now we're going to get back into it. And I really want to, I kind of miss retrieving, to be honest with you. So I'm going to make a point of finishing this, seeing this through. Probably if I had been consistent, we'd be off the freezers by now. We'd probably be on the ground. We're not yet, and that's okay. So I'm going to start right in. As soon as she settles, I did have her with me this morning. We got our special project going on up at Mighty Pet, up in Menominee, Michigan. Really nice session today. I've got 3 weeks worth of videos that we've taken up there, and I'm going to put my mind to sitting down and starting to sort some out. I've got just awesome content from those. So she was with us this morning there, so she got a little bit of work there. And then today I was here quite a bit. She was here on place or in the kennel, and then I ran to the shop and the office this afternoon, and she stayed here. So I don't know what now the window's open because it is warm, so she's checking everything out there. But she seems pretty settled. So I'm going to settle in myself and get right to it. And tonight I'm starting out with a bumper. I'm kind of moved away from that wooden dowel. If you remember last session, she dropped a bumper for me. And when I say for me, I mean I thought it was kind of good. I'm glad she did it. So if you missed that one, go back. Erin's got Abby resting on place after her spay. Ooh, she's really resting. So I'm going to go right to the bumper. I'm probably going to go to the bumpers to start out with going forward until I get down on the ground. That gum is pinched in there. There. Good. Hold. I started to say she dropped a bumper for me. Now that wasn't on purpose, but boy, I was glad she did. Because when she did, it showed an opportunity for her to learn that that was not what she was supposed to do. Hold. Hold. Got good news. I don't know if Schultes are watching or not. I see April just came on. Hold. If Nicole or Mike Schulte are watching, I saw your video that you sent me. Huge difference. Mike and Nicole sent me videos last week, and we kind of critiqued it a little bit. They changed their mechanics more than anything, and they got really nice change in results. So I'm going to show hold. A little bit of a flinch there on her. Hold. I will likely push the time on this a little bit further. Hold. Very good. Hold. 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 Good girl. Hold. I like her position. She's in a real nice position. Hold. Jeff Trudell got in. Cole got in. Hey, guys. Hold. Dead. Very nice. I'm gonna move her a little bit. Move her feet. Move her feet. Move her feet. Good girl. Come on. Come here. Come on. Sit. Now, one thing I have noticed since we started with Spry, with hold conditioning, she really liked retrieving before we got into it, which was new to her. Hold. I'm going to move quite a distance from her here. Hold. hold. I don't like that chin down, hold. Good. One thing about her is, since we started hold, we've stopped all retrieving. She does have a tendency to pick stuff up, and she wants to retrieve. So I've been using them as opportunities just to call her to me and practice hold, hold. But I've been discouraging it as well. I don't try. When I say discouraging, I'm trying to avoid it. Hold. If she does pick something up, I don't discourage that. I call her to me and I get a delivery out of it. Hold. Hold. Come here. Good girl. Come on. Come on. Get her to move her feet. Come on. Take that step. Come on. Hold. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hold. And get her back up in position. Hold. Hold. Very nice. I'm going to turn this a little so you can see. Hold. That's it. Hold. She finishes nice. So this is a nice little finish with her delivery. Hold. Hold. Dead. Very good. Now I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to change this just slightly. Hold. And turn this. And this is a change. I'm actually going to call her this way. Spry, come on. Come on. Come on. Very good. Now come back. Come on. Here. Hold. Come on. Come on. Hold. And now I want her to deliver. Hold. 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 Very nice. That was a nice little change. Move both ends of the freezer. Hold. I don't like that. Come on now. Hold. Deliver it nice. Hold. Good. Good. Dead. Very good. I'm going to switch bumpers. I'm going to go to the big one. I'm going to do that same thing. I kind of like that. Come here. Come on. So I like this freedom that we're adding in. Hold. Of her moving around. Hold. This one will challenge her. It's a lot bigger bumper. This is our big one. Come on. Come on. Come on. Good. Here. Come on. Come on. Good. Come on. Come on. Now this is all prepping me to go to the ground. Hold. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hold. Hold. Last one I want to deliver. Hold. There. Good. Nice little wiggle out of her. Her tail is going. Hold. Hold. I just fix that little bit of last. Get it up there a little bit. Hold. 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 See how I went to her shoulders and she almost dropped? Hold. That was new to her. Very good. You passed though. That was new to her, so she got a little fidgety and almost thought, oh my gosh, I might have to spit this out. What it's telling me is hold. The action of holding is starting to be stronger than what would have been or could have been a temptation to drop. Good. Hold. This time I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to call her off of that sit. Come on. Come on. Move around a little bit. Very good. Come on. Hold. 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 And get her back in position to finish this rep out. Good. Good girl. Hold. Mike's in. Mike Schulte joined. Mike, great video you sent me. I think you see the improvements based on just changing the situation up a little bit. I'll show everyone that. Or Mike, maybe share it to our page or post it to our page. Then everyone could see it. I'll share it. Hold. Hold. Very good. Dead. That's it. Now I'm going to change it. I'm going to bring it over here. Start her over here. Sit. And I just like how responsive she is tonight, so I'm going to end it after this. I feel like this is a pretty nice lesson. Doesn't have to go real long. Hold. Turn this a little bit. Hold. Now her head's gone down a bit. Hold. Hold. And now it's going up a little bit. Hold. I really want that hold to finish out like that. Because when she comes to me and delivers off of a retrieve down the road, I want to be able to give her one little reminder, hold, and have her go right back up into that position. So hold. If she doesn't get it perfect up here, she doesn't stand a chance down there. Hold. Very good. That's it. You can hear her tail wagging. Very good. Come on. Come on. Good. Hold. Come on. Come on. Hold. Hold. And that head's down. Hold. Hold. She kind of gets into position. I'd like to see that chin go up a bit. Hold. That's it. Good. Come on. Come on across. Hold. Hold. Now I'm looking for a little bit of a finish. Hold. Right up there. Hold. Very good. Nice little ending. I'm not going to go much further. Notice once in a while, this time I pet on the top of the head. That doesn't happen. You don't see me do that very often. Hold. Hold. That's it. I'm going to touch her chest. Hold. This got her jumpy before. Hold. Hold. So all these little things that, see how she twitches when I touch these shoulders? Hold. I don't want her to spit it out. Hold. But if she did, boy, she'd learn from it. Hold right there. Just like she did last week when she just made the mistake, spit it out, and we were able to correct it really quick, sharp. We learned more from that than we did from 5 sessions before. Hold, where she didn't make a mistake. Ballards are in. Hey, Ballards from Kentucky. John, have you been out in the woods yet? That's the big question. Hold. He says Fletch is doing much better with the loose mouth, so he's tightening up on that loose mouth. John had a great question last week about too loose in their mouth and dowel slides around. I think his concern was the dowel, but I had dogs that the bumpers slid around, and they don't like that loose in their mouth. Hold. See how her head moves with it, not the bumper? I like that. Hold. Very nice. Tail wagging the whole time. Good girl. Very good. Schulte says, yes, he's in, but he's late. That's all right. Hold. Saw you on Raised Hunting today. Really? I don't have cable anymore. I'm letting the secret out. We don't watch TV hardly ever, so we just don't have it anymore. So I don't watch any TV now. Hold. Hold. And this is a nice long session. Hold. Very good. I'm going to call her off of it. Come on. Come on. I'm actually going to make her move again. Good girl. And I'm going to end it right now. Come on. Hold. Finish it. Crisp. I want a nice crisp. Hold. Get it up there. Hold. Very nice. Dead. That's it. That was a nice session. Now, Chris Smith is training her sister, Fee, and I'm really proud of where he's at. He's got Fee moving right along as well. I saw a nice, come on. I'm going to move her over here and put her on a little island. Sit. Have her just sit and wait because she's going to have to finish this out now. So if you got questions, if you guys are new to these are great opportunities to be real interactive. I do recommend going back and watching the old ones as well. Got a new, looks like someone new in, Kevin in. Hi Jeremy, working with my pup, and she is taking very well to the shed antler training. One thing I struggle with is getting the antler back after she finds it. She will return the bumpers back to hand. She will return the bumpers back to hand every time, but the antler seems to be a game of keep away until I ignore her and finally brings it to me. Is there anything you can recommend? She's 6 months old, and I worry I move too fast. That's probably a red light right there, an alert to if you're recognizing that. 6 months, where are you at with teething? Let me finish it. Should I stop altogether until hold conditioning, or maybe have her on a long lead? I don't like the long lead idea. I would, a couple recommendations. If you're doing well, at 6 months old, you're really young. So first question I have is, where are you at with teething? And you can answer it right now if you want. That will help. So Kevin, this is why I like them live, because when they're live, we can really get stuff going. If you guys are watching this and it's not live, you can always ask questions, and I usually see them and have a chance to answer them back before the next live. But where are you at with teething? Because if you're teething, I stop all retrieving, period. And I'm usually seeing teething between 4 and 6 months. 4 months is really early. 6 months is probably closer to when we really see it. She didn't teeth, so she was later than that. So, where are you at with that? And then I think a couple things. If she's delivering nice with a bumper, that's okay. I like it. It really doesn't matter. All I'm trying to do is bring out natural retrieve when they're little like this. So if she's got an object that she's bringing back good. That habit needs to be formed. Now the training dummy, for whatever reason, she doesn't want to bring that back. I'd do a couple things. Her teeth seem to be all in. If she's got her canines, Kevin, then she's got them all in. So check and see if she's got the canines. If she doesn't have the canines yet, canines are usually the last ones. So if she doesn't have those canines, then she doesn't. But the question I would have is, did you retrieve through that teething process? Sometimes that can create issues. Sometimes dogs teeth in a matter of a week and a half, 2 weeks. So if you're retrieving through that, you can create some problems. So do you remember when that teething happened and what happened? Because that can be connected to it. Canines are all in. So yes, she's through her teething. So regardless of whether you did or didn't retrieve through the teething portion, you may or may not have an issue from it. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. You got what you got. So one thing I would do is restrict the spot. So set her up so she can't play keep away. And I don't know what the definition of keep away. If it's keep away is come to you, run away, come to you, run away, that's different. If it's circles, victory laps, if it's running off in other directions, set it up so that you kind of minimize the opportunity. So I like hallways. When they get a little bit bigger, I move them out of hallways, but I put them in places that look like hallways. Fence lines, back to a garage or a shed or a building so that they can't take back victory laps. So you can kind of set yourself up in some situations. The other thing is this running off. Hold conditioning will fix that. 6 months is pretty early. If you just finished teething, I would like to get a little more retrieve going before I go into hold. I think 6 months is pretty young. And so putting that much on a dog that young, to me, is a little early. I prefer it 7, 8, 9 months. I have hold condition, as long as I'm not having problems. So now you're having some issues, so you might have to speed that up a little bit so that you are able to continue on with some retrieving and not forming more bad habits. But so the answer is, boy, there could be a lot of answers. Hold conditioning would probably fix that. You're going to see me probably go to a training dummy next. We've got bumpers, we've moved feet, we've done this. I'm probably going to throw another object in, move some feet with it, do all that stuff. Then we're probably going to get down on the ground with her. But so I would check, and if I can push off hold conditioning a little bit longer, I would, personally. So I would see if I can get some situations that funnel or channel my dog back, and I would be real careful. And I don't know what your retrieves look like. So we're talking to Kevin. Kevin, maybe film one. Film a little retrieving session. How often do you retrieve? That would be another question I have. At 6 months old, I would probably retrieve 2 or 3 times a week for maybe 3 or 4 repetitions. That's it. I don't retrieve very much more because you're not going to gain a lot. You're not going to gain much. I call them, if you do more than that, I call them meaningless retrieves. They're just kind of bore dogs. They get them bored. They get to the point where they might create bad habits, where things that I got to fix. So I'd rather throw 3, 4 retrieves in a session, and I'd probably have 10 or 15 denials that they don't get to pick up. At 6 months old, I'd probably be doing memories more than anything. Memories more than marks, because we're really going to build some steadiness in the dogs at 6 months old. So I would maybe look at Kevin filming that and letting me see what it looks like, and that would help me to determine, would I keep moving and try to fix the problem now before hold, or would I say, let's just put a hold on the retrieving, no pun intended, and go to hold. So that would be my answer on that. Jeff Williams asked, do you do a force fetch? No, absolutely not. I really don't have a reason to. I don't want to connect negative to something that my dog already likes. So it doesn't make sense to me When I have a dog, most of my dogs, almost all my dogs, retrieve naturally and really enjoy it. So the last thing I want to do is start tying negatives to it. So pinching ears, pinching toes, fear. I don't want dogs working out of fear. I want dogs working out of confidence and trust. And when I start putting fear into them, I don't feel like I maximize what I can get out of them as far as their potential. So I do not use force fetch. Kevin says, I retrieve as often as possible. That I'd slow down. I would really like to film some retrieves and take any pointers that you can offer. Do that. I would retrieve as few times as possible. So it sounds like things were going really good. I always talk about how if you're an athlete and you're really good at some specific skill and you're not very good at other things, what do you need to work on the most? Not the stuff you're really good at. That's the tendency. People usually work on the stuff they're really good at because it's easier and it's a lot of fun. I don't want that. So, a lot of retrieving, especially if she was good at it, I don't know if he or she, if it was a lot of retrieving for a he or she, and she was good at it, you don't need to work on it that much. So work on the other stuff that she's struggling on to build the foundation underneath the retrieve. The retrieve is easy. Yeah, very, very natural, and we're just bringing it out of them. That's all we do. So I would back off on the retrieving. That can help as well. Sometimes taking retrieves away increases a dog's retrieve. So sounds counterproductive, but boy, I'm telling you, you burn them out when they're that young. 6 months old is really young. You're talking 6 months old. That's probably like a 7 or 8 year old kid. And so a 7 or 8 year old kid is getting to the point where they can start doing some things. But if you force them to play basketball every day when they're 7 or 8, by the time they're 10, they want to quit because it's just not fun anymore. 6 month old dog, this has to be a lot of fun. Jeff Williams, so does mine. Thanks, don't even know what it is. I think you're talking force fetch. Kevin, I have sent Jeremy videos before and called him to ask a few questions. He can't tell you much. Help, Sugar and I. Appreciate that, David. Yeah, Kevin, I think Kevin is new. I don't know that I recognize the name that often or seen it. So you nailed it. She picks it up very quick. And this being my first dog, I know I'm moving quickly and most likely too fast. Yeah, I think the big thing that a lot of times we can almost always say is just slow down, be patient. There is no rushing this. You are not in a hurry, Kevin. You got a 6 month old pup. Relate it to a 6, 7, maybe 8 year old kid and go, I want them to play college basketball. I can't put too much pressure on that 8 year old about playing college basketball. This is the analogy of finished hunting, where the level where you're going to be hunting the dog and the level where you are right now. So be patient. Typically no retrieving during hold conditioning as well, correct? Absolutely, John. No retrieving. Because the problem is if we retrieve during hold conditioning is that brainwashing where when they pick it up, they mentally can't set it down. They bring it back to us and deliver. And so if we retrieve prior to it being completed, they're likely to do it. They're gonna spit it out early. They're gonna run off with it. They're gonna do whatever the problem was that we're trying to get away from. So if you work so hard up here on the freezer and you work weeks and weeks and weeks into it, or days and days and days into it, then you go out in the yard and she picks it up and spits it out, or picks it up and leaves it, switches, drops it short, runs off, does whatever one of those symptoms are that hold conditioning seems to remedy, you're right back to square one. So it'd be no different than being up on the table and having her drop it. And just, what do you do? Here at least I can control it and work to build on it, like we have in the past when she did drop it. So out there in the field, there's nothing I can do. So yes, hold conditioning. During hold conditioning, we don't retrieve. During teething, we don't retrieve. Because if you don't retrieve during teething, it makes hold conditioning easier. Early on, Kevin, one of the things that we talk about, and you'll see this in all of our old videos, so I really recommend going back in those. But early on, I stress the idea of, I almost teach these dogs to hold and encourage them to hold when they're just little babies. Because if I can get them doing it then, this is easy like it is for Spry. If I form a lot of bad habits when they're 8, 10, 12, 16 weeks old, before they're teething, where they're running off, spinning bumpers, dropping bumpers short, tug of war, wanting to play, hard mouth chomping. If I create those issues when they're little, man, this part of it is hard. Makes it a lot harder. So, Lyndon says, when are you coming to Alberta? Boy, I'd really like to, Lyndon. I'd have to bring a bowl with. Kevin, I built a fence. Yeah, Ron Herring built a fence. You go back and look on our page. He actually shared it with us. Chris Smith built a channel for the dogs. You'll watch on some of our lives that we did at workshops. We built little channels and we used the dogs. So we'll actually, you can find stuff or you can build stuff, Kevin, and it doesn't have to be fancy. A long wall works. It's 50% of a hallway. A fence line works. So you can create these channels that help our dogs take straight lines. Ron built one, I think he used chicken wire. And it made a huge difference because he had a little dog that wanted to run off. He had a little dog that wanted to do some victory laps. I never knew sitting was a training exercise. I've been doing this and it's helped calm him down even more. Jeff, you are exactly right. We spent our little Mighty Pet special project. I'll be starting to share some of that as it develops, but the first two sessions, the second and the third session that we did there with a bunch of strange dogs, we didn't do anything. We sat and we talked and we started changing. And what they're doing there, they've got dog daycare, they've got day camp. They have these cabins. These dogs come and stay, and what they are doing there is changing their culture to slow everything down, which will help them speed up with progress. So there, we sat and did nothing. It's tough for some dogs to do because sometimes people want to keep their dogs interested. They don't want to bore them. I don't want to bore them either. Taylor, my old dog Taylor, gets really bored. I don't want to bore her. But with some of these dogs, we don't want to bore them, so we do stuff faster. We keep doing it, 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 keep doing it. And what we're doing is we're programming these dogs to sit still for about 2 minutes and then get bored and want to do something next because you constantly change the scenery for them. When the reality is I've dove hunted now for a couple nights, a couple afternoons. And I thought about it, Sunday morning I thought about it. I was dove hunting with Ellie. And I looked at her and it had been about 25 minutes. And we hadn't seen a feather. And she sat nice and quiet, just sat next to me, and I thought, this is what I love about my little working dog right now. Because as much of a retriever as she is, and as much as she wants to retrieve, and as much as I want to shoot stuff, we just sat there and did nothing. And she was just as quiet and patient and willing to do that without making a peep or be antsy or be fussy or be needy or anything. And I thought, man, this is why I like these dogs. This is the majority of our time in the field. That's what we're doing. The majority of my time around my house, that's what I'm doing. The majority of the time tonight, she did not actively hold. I don't know the numbers, but I don't know how many minutes we're in. We're getting a little long, but the majority of tonight's lesson, the lesson started when I put her up here, and the lesson will go until I bring her in the house. And the majority of it is sitting. Right there. So we focus a lot of that. We build that in, and then it becomes natural. It just becomes that's the way we do things. Just like that little dog that thinks natural is being antsy and needing to go like a little red squirrel to the next thing. Well, no, we can create that when they're little. We form those habits, and they're not what we want. So great point, Jeff. Sitting quiet, calm, and steady. Boy, that's the recipe. I really appreciate the advice. I have been following you long before I got my pup, and credit you with where she's at. You did the work, Kevin. That's the reason why we do these, is to try to be able to help you guys with your dogs. And if we help one dog, we've done something right. What's your thought on neutering? Nuttering. I'm assuming it's neutering. Does it matter? I do. I think if you're not going to breed the dogs, I think it makes sense to have them spayed or neutered. Now I sound like Bob Barker, but I wouldn't do it until the females at least go through. I like to get them through 2 heat cycles, and the males, I wouldn't do it before they're a year and a half. 2 preferably. The idea behind it is when you start changing their makeup, when you start changing their bodies, they're not necessarily fully mature skeletally until about 2 years old. So I don't like to alter anything. There's enough problems in the dogs these days with health related, genetic related issues, particularly with joints and bones, and they got a big enough hurdle. So I don't want to start putting gas on the fire of creating potential issues by changing what's going on inside of them. So I wait. Is there a point when you'll replace the dowel with a shed, or is it a bad idea on the table? No, we'll do that. We've replaced the dowel with a bumper. We'll go from a bumper to a training dummy. We'll move to the floor. Eventually we'll have a real antler in her mouth too. So we're going to do every object, Jerry, good question. We're going to do every object incrementally. So I've started adding things. I've started changing some bumpers. The wooden dowel probably won't come out with her anymore. I might put it in her mouth when we hit the ground, just for old time's sake, to flash back to that memory, because that's been the strongest. And then I'll switch it out. So April is chiming in on the growth plates. So looks like she's on the same boat with me there. Melissa Springer joined in. Hey, Melissa. So I saw that cute little Stormy Cromer cap on your little one the other day. All right, so that's about it, guys. Good session, nice questions, great questions. I love the idea of doing it live for that reason. But if you're not able to watch them live and you catch up later, that's fine too. And you've got questions, fire away in the comments. I'll answer them before the next time. Trying to think if there was anything else. I touched on the Schulte video that was sent in. That was a great video, Mike. Appreciate it. Sounds like Kevin may be interested in doing a little filming and sending to me. I don't mind it, guys. I like it. One thing I think you need to understand too, though, is if you do, be patient with me. I don't always get back to commenting on the videos the same day or within the hour. And I know there's that thing on our thing that says their response time is this, and I can't always get back to it. I promise you I will. It just sometimes takes a little bit, so be patient with me. But please do fire away with questions. That's what makes this thing good. So Melissa's in Northwest Arkansas this week. Yeah, there you go. All right, guys, we're almost in Cromer weather, Melissa. And now it's going to be 80 degrees the next couple of days. But, boy, we kind of had a nice little tease of fall weather. So keep working on your tracking stuff. We're going to continue to work. I need to get her on another track, and I'll film that. I can't go live on those. I will film that. But we got bow season opening up this weekend, and we're going to start shooting some does. I looked in the freezer, and we want to shoot some does. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the benefit of filling our freezer, but we're also going to get the benefit of putting this little dog on some tracks. So I will put Spry on tracks this fall, no question about it. It will be great opportunities for experience. I will not put her on questionable ones. She will go to the ones that maybe I have to find the deer first. That's fine. I'm going to do that because at her age, we're just going to give her experience. Getting the bow stuff ready right now, says Aaron. Yeah, we are shooting. We have been shooting. Loving it. So, guys, have a great night. Keep working. Be patient. And we'll all get there, I guess, together. So, guys, have a great night. And I will be back tomorrow. And like I said, I'm digging my heels in because I want to get through this hold. I'm not going to say I could be through it completely by now, but I could have been 80% through. And right now, I think I'm about 40 or 45% through. So we'll accelerate through with more consistency, but I think it's a true showing, or I'm able to show that I got things that come up too. So we're not. I'm just like you guys, where life happens, and I don't always get to set aside the time that I want, and so I try to build it in when I can. I've tried mornings, I've tried middays, I've tried evenings. Evenings seem to work a little bit better for me, but sometimes those evenings get really, really late. So you guys have a great night. We'll talk with you soon.